What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my prize picks breakdown for UFC 295. We got Alex Pereira going against Yuri Prochazka.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back talking some prize picks. This week we are breaking down UFC 295 from a prize picks perspective. We have 13 fights on the card, a card that I'm really looking forward to, a card that I think is stacked from top to bottom, and I can't wait to break it down. Talk some prize picks. There are 10 plays that I like this week that are sticking out. Going to go through all of those. Before we get into it, if you guys could please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and if you guys are new to prize picks or want to check it out, go to PrizePicks.com and use promo code DFSBTN. And doing that, you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100. It helps me out. It helps you guys out. It's free money. So again, go to PrizePicks.com. Use promo code DFSBTN, all caps there. All right. So we're going to get into it here. We're going to start, as always, with the significant strikes. And the first one that sticks out is going to be the Lupita Godinez. And I'm going to take the more on the significant strikes. It is set at 66.5. And kind of how I see this fight playing out, I think she's going to use her wrestling to, keep the fight standing. Tabitha Ricci, she's a BJJ black belt. I think on the feet, Lupi Godinez is going to have the edge there. I actually really like the striking of Lupi. I think her boxing is really good. She has solid volume, a little bit of power as well. And I think this fight does go the distance. The odds are heavily favoring this fight to go the distance as well. I think the fight doesn't go like plus 275. So I think we get 15 minutes of action here. And I think the majority of it plays out on the feet there. So I like the Lupi more than 66.5 significant strikes. And as long as she goes out there and doesn't wrestle, which I don't really think she needs to, or really why should she wrestle against Ricci? As long as it's, primarily on the feet, I think she nails this more here. The next one that sticks out from a significant strikes perspective is going to be the Jared Gordon significant strikes. I'm going to take the less here, 65.5. I think a lot of this fight is going to take place either in the clinch, on the ground, especially Mark Matson, as we know, Olympic caliber wrestler, a guy that's going to look to get fights down to the mat. And I see exactly that happening. With Mark Matson, though, he's a guy that doesn't have the best control in the world. So that does worry me a little bit, but Mark Matson's landing over 3 takedowns per 15 minutes at a 66% accuracy, which is ridiculous. So there's no doubt in my mind Mark Matson's going to be able to get some takedowns, and I think for Mark Matson to win this fight, he's going to have to wrestle a lot. I don't think he can really hang on the feet with Jared Gordon. I think Jared Gordon's the better striker by a mile, but I just think this fight is going to be taking place on the ground for a good chunk of it. So I like the less on the significant strikes for one Jared Gordon. Moving on, we'll go to the takedowns here, and we're going to start with Steve Erceg, 1.5 takedowns. I'm going to take the less here. The reason being he's taking on Alessandro Costa, who Costa is a guy that is extremely hard to take down. In the UFC, he has over a 90% takedown defense. Amir Albazi, who is a very good wrestler, was 1 for 4 on takedowns. I don't think Erceg has the wrestling of an Amir Albazi. We have a guy in Alessandro Costa. He's like 5'4". He's very short, compact, very physically strong. I feel like Erceg's going to have a very hard time taking him down. So yeah, I like the less there. I'm not even sure he gets one takedown. Not even sure he's going to even try to take down Costa, because Costa just is so hard to take down. So if Albazi's not taking him down at least twice, I'm not sure Steve Erceg's going to take him down. And then we just recently got Mateusz Rebecki props. This takedown prop sticks out. It scares me a tad just because, Rebecki could go out there and serve Roberts in the first round. But, if he wants to take down Roberts, he's taking him down easily. It's, Roberts has a 58% takedown defense. Rebecki is a very good wrestler, very physically strong. Roberts is coming in here on short notice. If Rebecki wants to wrestle, get this fight down to the mat, I don't see why he can't go out there and crush this takedowns. Again, the only thing that concerns me is if Rebecki does go out there and just like starches Roosevelt Roberts, but Roberts is tough. Roberts can hang in there for a little bit, so I think this more than 1.5 takedowns. It makes a lot of sense for Mateusz Rebecki. All right, we'll move on to the fight time then, and we will start with Let's see here. We'll start with Tom Aspinall, and it's set at 5 minutes, and I'm going to take the less here. The reason being, I think it's 12 or 13 fights, Tom Aspinall and Sergey Pavlovich combined. Only one of them has reached the second round. Only one of them has went more than 5 minutes. Pavlovich has not seen a second round yet in the UFC, and he's been in the UFC for like 5 years now. So I think we got a one-round banger on our hands. I think somebody's getting served within the first 5 minutes. Both guys have power to knock out other guy. And if Tom Aspinall gets this fight down to the mat even once, I think the fight's going to be over very shortly after there. So I see a lot of avenues for this less than 5 minutes hitting. I think somebody's getting served here within the first 5 minutes. Next, we will go with the Joshua Van fight time, taking the less here. So these guys, Joshua Van and Kevin Borjas, they have a combined, I think it's 19 fights. And 17 of those 19 fights have finished inside the distance. Joshua Van has finished all but one of his wins. The one win he did not finish was against Zhalgas Zhumagulov, where he hurt Zhalgas very badly in the second round, was on the verge to finishing him. And then for Kevin Borjas, he has one decision win as well. The rest are knockouts. 8 knockout wins for Kevin Borjas. The one decision win was on the Contender Series, where his opponent was trying to take him down the entire time. That's not the case here. I think these guys are going to stand and bang. I think both guys have a lot of power. And I think this fight finishes under or less than 12 and a half minutes. And then lastly, I'm going to go with the Nazim Sadikov. I'm going to take the less as well. I mean, this is another fight that's just going to be a banger. I think there's a lot of avenues for this fight to finish. I think on the feet, these guys are going to stand and bang until one man falls. And then Sadikov has a clear path to victory here with the wrestling if he wants it. And what I noticed about Sadikov is he doesn't wrestle a ton, but when he wrestles and when he gets fights down to the mat, he is super dangerous. He's able to get into dominant positions. He has a sneaky submission game as well. Sadikov's ground game is very good. He's very dangerous. So if he chooses to take down Borshev, he will be able to get him down because Borshev does not have takedown defense. And if he can get on top, I think he can finish the fight there. But on the feet, either guy's live to knock out either guy. I like the less than 10.5 minutes fight time. And then finally, we'll go to the fantasy score. The first one sticking out here to me is going to be the Pat Sabatini, less than 71.5 fantasy score. So it seems very low, and it is, but I'm actually picking Sabatini to lose. That's the first reason I like this less, because if he loses, he's not sniffing 71.5. But even if Sabatini wins, I mean, I don't see him throwing any significant strikes. I don't see him wanting to strike with Diego Lopez at all. And on PrizePicks, you don't get points for control time. So say Sabatini gets a takedown and then controls, Lopez for the entire round. He's getting the takedown points, and that's it. And again, you only get 20 points for a decision, which I think that's Sabatini's path to victory, a decision. So we could see a situation where Pat Sabatini takes down Lopez in every single round, gets a couple takedown points, gets the decision, and doesn't even sniff 71.5 in a win. So I think there's a lot of avenues for this to go less here. I don't really see Sabatini finishing a guy as tough and durable as Diego Lopez. So, yeah, I think this less makes a lot of sense from a lot of aspects, to be honest. Next, we're going to go with one that I'd say a little bit risky, but I mean, if Mackenzie Dern goes out here and wins, which she's the favorite, she's crushing this score. I mean, people, whenever Jessica Andrade loses, her opponents score incredibly. Whenever Jessica Andrade loses, it's typically inside the distance. Her last 3 losses have been inside the distance, and if Dern is able to take down Andrade, the fight's over. I mean, Andrade has shown just a terrible ground game off her back. Andrade is a BJJ black belt, but I mean, she's just looked disinterested as of late, and Dern's, hungry. She has title aspirations, whereas Andrade, she's been there, she's done that. She doesn't look too motivated at this point. It kind of feels like Andrade is showing up for a paycheck. So I think, Dern, if she takes down Andrade once, the fight could be over. And if she finishes Andrade in the first or second round, she's crushing the score there. So I like the Dern more on the fantasy score. And then finally, I'm going to go with the Tom Aspinall fantasy score. I like Aspinall to win. Obviously, Pavlovich is terrifying, but I think Aspinall has more paths to win this fight. And if Aspinall wins this fight, he's going to smoke this score. He's going to get a first-round finish more than likely. A first-round win bonus is 100 points right there. If he finishes him in the second round, that's fine. He still hits it. As long as Aspinall wins this fight, he's going to hit this more. If you're on the Pavlovich side, obviously you like the less, but I think Aspinall has more ways to win this fight. I think he takes this fight down to the mat and finds a finish. So those are the plays that I like this week. Let me know what you guys like down in the comments. Gave 10 plays that are really sticking out. I think there's a couple spots sticking out this week that I really do like. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys could, leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel on your way out. And if you guys have not checked out PrizePicks yet, be sure to check it out. Use promo code DFSBTN. Get yourself a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Helps me. It helps you. It's free money. Be sure to check it out. All right, guys. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you soon. See you later.